Yeah, once you go too big in like system, then you lose the touchability, the the realness of what Hope Vibes is. We're talking about laundry and showers. Like that's real. And the person who is running Hope Vibes doesn't need to be far away from that.
What's the, I mean, I don't expect you to have all the numbers or anything, but like, what's the homeless population in the Charlotte region roughly?
It's a
Like,
little bit over 3,000 chronically homeless individuals. And so that's individuals who are living outside in the elements consecutively for, I think it's 6 months, something like that. It's like a period of time that they're deemed like chronic homelessness. And so yeah, we're right over it. It's actually increased. When we first started, it was more like 2,500, but now it's pushing more like three, which makes sense because the population of Charlotte has grown and consistently grows. And so, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so like you said you started with like backpacks and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, you operate now, you fill me in on all the stuff that I'm missing, but like you have a mobile unit that's laundry and that's showers and like obviously that's a big expense. Like what's been the process of you and you as your family and as Hope Vibes going from like grassroots and ground level to what you're doing now?
Yeah, so when we first started and had the idea of the Hope Tank, which is that mobile laundry shower unit, it literally started with whiteboarding, paper, just dreaming. No, we don't have any resources, and we had a handful of like people who were coming out with us already, just with the backpacks and just going out and having conversation. And so we just started like really just sharing the idea with them, and we continued to share. We shared it on social media. We shared it all over, and eventually we ended up getting a grant from an organization, and bought a box truck off of Facebook Marketplace for like 8,500 bucks. And so we did a lot of the work, and as we continue to like build this truck, and we documented everything and showed it on social media, and people supported it. And so like I said, we didn't have anything but an idea, and we continued to work at it and push it, and it took, so we started pushing the idea 2019, and then it was completed 2020 of October, right? Like height of pandemic. And that's when we launched it. And um yeah, but I mean it took, there's a time where we had to stop a little bit because funds dried up, and we had to wait for other grants to come in and or other dollars to come in, and then we got back to work, and so I mean it's been a journey. At the same time, we never stopped going out. We might have, the frequencies might have changed. We went from at one point going out five, no, about 10 times a month. Now, and because of life stuff, we're only going out 2 times a month. And so it's a part of the journey, but we don't stop though. The goal is to get that frequency back up as we bring in more people and train other people. We have another truck that's 98% complete. It just needs a
Okay.
wrap on it. And so, I can't drive two trucks. And so the idea is to train up other groups of the churches who have a heart for uh, our unhoused neighbors, but don't have like the means or the resources to do something like that. So we just, hey, we have it. Let's train you. You go take the truck wherever you need to take it and bring it back. And that's the goal, so that it can have the resources that we have can have the biggest impact that they need to have. It doesn't serve any purpose by just being in a parking lot, just saying we got it. Like the goal is to train those with like-minded hearts and minds to take it out to those who need it.
I'm gonna have to hook you up with it. Have you met a new pastor in Charlotte named Josue?
I haven't. Nope.
Okay, I'm a when we're done here, I'm gonna get you Josue's information.
Yeah.
Um, they just launched in Charlotte um less than 2 years ago, and they're like at 2,000 people, and
Oh,
they're like super mission minded. But
yep.
I got to be part of like when they were church planting and stuff, and I was just like, man, like I'm kind of sad you're not in my area because I'd rock with you.
I love it. I love it.
That's one of the sucky things about being a pastor is like you see other churches doing stuff and you're like, I can't go be with you. It's like go be with my
Right.
church.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotta be with my people.
Yep.
So you're doing this. You mentioned funding from grants. How else is Hope Vibes funded?
Individuals, churches, businesses, things like that. We right now we've focused a lot of energy on, like, we still get some grants here and there, but we focus a lot of energy on building the individual donor because grants are so unpredictable at times, and we've really had to shift the model from being a 80/20 nonprofit to a 20/80, where 20% is like grants and stuff like that. And so um it's hard. It's been, again, we didn't go into this with the idea of being, founding nonprofit people, right? We're going into this thing like, oh my goodness, there's a need, and God is leading us down this path. And now we find ourselves, 8 years later, like, oh man, we're founders, and we're having to think through things that we never thought we've had to think through, as far as in the nonprofit world. And so learning along the way, making mistakes, trying to do things better, but with the same heart and mind of, uh, is this where God is leading us? And again, the reality is a lot of times, you know, how I'm built is I enjoy building stuff, like not just building like physical things, but building like having ideas, having, you know, programs, and then building it up and seeing and then launching it out. I enjoy doing that. And so to be in a position where, like, having built something, but in some ways having to stay is hard for me, right?
W-
And
w-
so
When
that's
you
that's yeah.
when you've got a spirit of vision, it's hard to keep looking at the same thing you built.
Exactly. And so it's like, okay. And so that's where it's again trusting God, like, okay, I don't want to move past where I'm supposed to be, but at the same time, it's like, God, we can we I can look at some other stuff if I would like to, look at have another vision. So that's where those other things have come up more recently. It's like, man, I need some new energy around the things. And so there's some other stuff that we're working on that is still it's connected to the vision of Hope Vibes, but it's a little bit it's fresh for us.
So let's say your season with Hope Vibes ends,
Mhm.
and it's passing on to somebody else or whatever. You're
Mhm.
letting go. What does a finish line look like for you? For do you be able to say, all right, now we're pressing forward somewhere else?
So that would look like a new executive director coming in and running with it, taking all the things that we've done and take it to the moon. Still with the same heart, same, passion, and just building on what's already there. I mean, and the reality is we're at that place. We're at that place where we're like, okay, we might still be, on the board or still be in an advisory role, but we're ready to make a shift, because we've done it. We've been doing it for so long, and um, I feel like there's growth and things that can happen, but I don't know if we're the ones to take it to its full potential, which I'm perfectly fine with. There was a season where it wasn't like that. Early on, maybe like year 5 or 6, we were like, I don't know. I mean, it still was very holding it on like a child, like, oh, we're raising it up, has to make it grow and things like that. But I feel like it's at this point, we view it more like, all right, somebody else it's time for it might be like, even though it's an 8-year-old nonprofit, it's almost like it's in its preteen stage where it's like they go off to they're going to school independently. We're seeing them less and less, uh, but it's still there's still some very intentional hands-on cultivating that needs to happen. It's not a full adult yet, and I don't see Hope Vibes ever being. I mean, this is mine. I don't know if it's ever going to be something that is on a like a big player systematic nonprofit level because there's something that still needs to be there that is very on the ground boots grass level because
It's
once you go
relational.
once you go too big in like system then you lose the touchability the the realness of what Hope Vibes is. We're talking about laundry and showers. Like that's real. And the person who is running Hope Vibes doesn't need to be far away from that. They need to be close to that because that's people. That's relationships and that's the real issues that's going on with the unhoused population. So yeah.